But I'll go through it as quickly as I can. This is a new book, folks. Luke, and you will see from me, Debbie, and a few others, folks. I've created this character on the front. And Debbie said it's very apt. You should shove it on the front cover of the book, given the title. Yeah? You can see again, it's a chunky book available for cost only on lulu.com. The reverse cover is a letter from a concerned follower of ours who wanted to let us know in brief what happened to them after they'd had their COVID injection. So we published the entire short edit of the letter on the reverse cover. People need to know, folks. Then we flick through it. Dr. Mike Yeadon gave me his blessing to reproduce a few of his words here. And we all know what happened to adults during this terrible, terrible, wicked, evil time, folks. Never mind the children. It's unforgivable what took place to the children, what is carrying on happening to the children. We flick through the book and we find out this short chapter here on NHS doctors were paid to knowingly implant deadly heart devices, folks. We keep these chapters short for the attention span of the readers so they don't get too fed up and bogged down in technicalities. Yeah, Dame Wigington and geoengineeringwatch.org again giving us information to do with this geoengineering, as they call it, of the air, this stratospheric aerosol injections and stuff, folks. US military accused of secret climate spraying operation to dump 60 million tons of toxic nanoparticles into the skies. And we know for a fact that over the last 90 years or so, it's obviously trillions of tons of this toxic shit they've been pumping into the atmosphere, folks. And as much in monies has been spent on this evil, horrible agenda, the new autism and vaccines page starts telling the truth, including the claim vaccines do not cause autism. It's not an evidence-based claim because studies have not ruled out the possibility that infant vaccines cause autism. Yeah, another great chapter there, folks. We just briefly flick through this stuff. We have another letter from a concerned reader who wanted to tell us what had took place or what their views were over the past 5 years of nonsense they had to endure. And there's facts and information. The crime against the school child, folks. Have a think about what's taken place during education and the crimes against all of us as well as the children, folks. There's no end to it all. Is this why so many doctors didn't dare tell the truth about COVID? The cruel persecution of the innocent. Yeah, that's by Dr. Vernon Coleman. We have a short chapter here on the banking system and the illusion of money, the fiat currency. I just keep flicking through a few of these headlines, folks, just to let you know what's in the book. The disease that isn't, to do with cancer. The arms and the deaths from off of these vaccinations, folks. Molecular biologist who was infected with engineered virus while working for Pfizer speaks out, yeah? Here we have the masked men in trucks who appeared to move ostrich carcasses after the government culled these ostriches, folks. Over 300 ostriches confirmed dead following a government cull order. They were shot dead almost a year after they were cleared of having any bird flu symptoms whatsoever, but they culled them anyway, folks. As you can see, it's packed with information, folks. Absolutely to the top. Origins of SARS-CoV-2 and SARS-CoV-2 modified mRNA biologics vaccines, yeah? Suppression of information and early vaccine development. You know, we try our very best, folks. COVID-19 injections, harms and damages. A non-exhaustive conclusion, folks. Geoengineeringwatch.org page is here. Again, to do with the spraying of the atmosphere. Bill Gates makes a major shift away from climate change doomsday outlook. Bill Gates now believes climate change is not the end of civilization, yeah? Fucking backtracking, yeah? Flip-flopping on the information, folks, that they provide us with, and then they backtrack on everything that they tell us. As you can see, there's lots of information in here. Dr. Claire Craig, during the COVID era, the NHS and vaccines were turned into objects of worship. Then we have this from Karl Kaczynski over the Meridian, Idaho, the skyline there, just a few months ago. I keep flicking through all this stuff. Determinants of autism spectrum disorder, folks. You know, every parent should be reading the information to do with vaccination, because the landmark report finds that vaccination is the dominant risk factor for autism spectrum disorder, folks. COVID injections pose risk of pilots having in-flight seizures even years after having taken those shots. And Rudolf Steiner, on April the 4th, 1916, stated that the soul will be made non-existent with the aid of a vaccine, folks. And we've all been secretly implanted with self-replicating nanotech for a 6G planetary dictatorship. Yeah, this is beyond microchipping, folks. This is the wireless body area networks connecting to the body-to-body area networks and the medical area networks through your MAC addresses and so on, folks, and all connecting into this shitstorm. COVID response killed more children than UK COVID inquiry ears. Yeah, have a think about that headline. And let's just flick back through. Yeah, so it's not possible to assess the safety of HPV vaccines due to a lack of transparency. All parents need this information, folks. And just to finish off here now, you can pause this. This is a poem written by me. There's a few in the book. And you can pause it and read through the thing. And if so, let me know your views on what I have written here. Coerced and versed into do as we are told, and do it we did into our new mould. Yeah, just have a think, folks. This one here, The Gift of Death by David Yates. The gift of death via last of breath, now denied to those who possess the MAC address. A Frankensteinian creation, a full-on assassination, a gift of fake life through inoculations. You know, just have a think, folks. Like I say, you can pause and read these things. And again, this book is available on lulu.com for cost only. No one makes any money off these things, folks. And with that shot, you know, if you want to give someone the truth this year, if you want to wake some fucker up, and that is the book. Sorry, dog. That is the book to wake them up with, folks, to knock some sense into them, which is why it's big and bold. Have a think, folks. Lulu.com. Type into your search engine, lulu.com. Then in the lulu.com search bar, type in David Albert Yates, and the title of this book should come up, and all the other 20-odd books should come up as well, folks.